So I'm going to invite our panelists to join me on the stage, and Dr. Carlos Jensen, Wendy Hunter-Baker, and Colleen Kohler-Smith. If you can take a chair, I'll take this one, and then please. So first of all, thank you. Thank you for being here and accepting this invitation to talk a little bit about your experience with the Division of Extended Studies. There are many ways in which we collaborate with different organizations throughout the university, and you represent a sampling of the different types of activities that we do. So we will hear different answers from each of them because we do different things with different parts of the university. So you are not here to hear me, you're here to hear them. So let me ask you an opening question, and this goes to the three of you. Could each of you briefly share an example of a successful collaboration or project highlighting the impact of UC San Diego Extended Studies and how your team leveraged the DES assets to advance a university project? Maybe we can start with Wendy.
Yeah, sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Wendy Hunter-Baker. Nice to see you all. This was an easy one for me, so you're going to hear more about, with the Rady School of Management, and you're going to hear more about our collaboration as we move throughout the panel. But early on, even before I actually got into my position, as soon as I came into my position, I understood that we were close to losing a very important executive education partner, someone who had been with us for a large number of years, about, I think, 7 or 8 at that time, and they wanted to completely overhaul the curriculum that we were using in their program. It was a $250,000 program. It was very important to the school, and if it were not for DES and their expertise in leading the curriculum redesign of this initiative, we did not have the expertise at Rady. We did have an academic advisor who was serving on the project as well, but it was really Shannon McDonald, who I know reports to Hugo. I'm going to give her a shout out here because she really worked very hard to work with this client, make sure that we were hearing their needs, making sure that she was structuring the process in such a way that both the Rady School and this client was able to get exactly what they needed. And we have now run the redesign program successfully for 2 years. And again, I think I would have lost that client had it not been for DES's participation and picking up the reins when we didn't quite have the expertise ready in-house at Rady.
So sorry, I didn't ask you to introduce yourselves. So if you can.
Okay, so sorry. Wendy Hunter-Baker. I am the Assistant Dean of Strategy and Operations at the Rady School of Management. I have a wide portfolio. Part of it includes executive education and a number of other outward-facing activities like corporate relations. We have centers of excellence. I work on our diversity initiatives. As well as I always have to think about the different things I do. But those are the main things. Oh, and our strategic plan. And I have been at the university my entire career. So I've been around a while.
Okay. So Carlos, do you want to go next?
Yeah. I'm Carlos Jensen. I'm the Associate Vice Chancellor for Educational Innovation. Big part of my portfolio is working with different academic units, with community partners, with everyone basically to identify new needs, new opportunities, new ways that we can reach our audience and support faculty, support staff, support academic programs in realizing the beautiful ambitious visions that they quite often have, but then lack perhaps the knowledge of the resourcing or the partners or the bureaucracy necessary to get things done. So my office serves as a bridge builder and as an incubator for really out-of-the-box thinking when it comes to ways for us to reach our audience. And the example that is very much in my mind is our new Discover UC San Diego program, which without the help and an integral partnership with Division of Extended Studies would not have been possible at all. So Discover UC San Diego is a new online program that we've been building. It just launched this summer. We graduated our first cohort of high school students from San Diego Unified who have been taking UC San Diego college level classes, the first classes in a variety of different majors, while they're in high school. And the goal of this program is to, first of all, level the playing field, to make sure that we can provide these great opportunities to explore different fields, but also to get that leg up and that college preparation when their school districts can't afford to hire hire teachers who have the necessary qualifications. And this program would not have been possible without the deep connections that Division of Extended Studies has built with our K-12 partners, not just here in San Diego, but across the region, across the whole state. Seeing the energy, the gratitude, the impact that that program has had, helping campus reach that audience has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life.
Mm-hmm. Great. Happy to help. Colleen?
Yes. I'm Colleen Kolar-Smith. I'm the Executive Director of the Campus Performance and Events Office at UC San Diego. We're a newly formed office within the last couple of years. I started last July. And we oversee Art Power at UC San Diego, which is the performing arts presenting entity. We've got campus events, which is the group that puts on large cultural and pop-up events, including the Sun God Festival for our students, as well as an Asian night market, a number of activities, Convocation, which is coming up. And then we oversee the venues that are the Loft at UC San Diego and the Epstein Family Amphitheater. So we're actually just getting started, but also have a lot of history. Art Power's in its 20th anniversary season this coming season. And there has been an ongoing partnership in a number of different ways. Art Power's mission is to engage, energize, and transform the diverse cultural life on campus and in the greater San Diego community. And so a key part of that is diversifying our audiences by making sure our program is providing diverse artists who can bring in groups that may not have historically seen themselves represented on stages. That's representing every member of our community. And a key part of that is making sure our audience is diverse. So we've long-standing making sure that every student in extended studies and the lifelong learners with OSHERS have at least 50% off any ticket price. That will continue, and we're actually exploring some other, what does it, as you had mentioned, students are not typical anymore. So broadening our idea of what is a student, what is a lifelong learner, et cetera. But beyond that, last year we did a partnership with Andrew down here and the speaker series, the Helen Edison speaker series. Terrence Blanchard, who is an incredible jazz musician, was coming to do a speaking engagement. We were able to come alongside as Art Power and do a concert in tandem. That's really kind of a great example of the work that we plan to be doing in the future. It's that idea of bridging, that idea of connecting and going, how does the art extend past the stage, ignite conversations, et cetera. So we were really proud of that. The one part of the event started here, went down and had it on campus, had the concert. So you'll be seeing a lot more of that in the coming years.
Great, thank you. So you can hear that there are very different voices, and all of them are in one way or another reflected within the division. We have the example of the pre-collegiate program. With Carlos, we do a number of other activities as well. We have the service to the faculty needs by managing our interactions with Rady, with whom we have had a wonderful partnership, and the arts and culture, which is another aspect of what we are trying to bring into the community, in part through Park and Market, but also through the rest of the activities that we are doing at Extended Studies. So, Carlos, the first question is for you. How has education innovation played a role in fostering collaboration between UC San Diego Extended Studies and other academic departments on campus?
Sure. So as I described, part of our role is to make all these wonderful ideas and vision that our fantastic faculty have a reality. And a big part of that is connecting them with the right partners who can help them with everything from market research and really shaping the idea so that it will have the impact that they dream of, to partners who can actually help them do the outreach or deliver the programming or bring together the community partners. And the Division of Extended Studies has been able to help us in all of those different aspects, from ideation all the way to actual program delivery and enrollments and that kind of stuff. And it's the flexibility as well as the kind of entrepreneurial nature of the Division of Extended Studies that make you all such an ideal partner for us, because you're able to do things much quicker and pivot in a way that quite often the university cannot, because we move at a deliberate pace.
Exactly.
But that's what is really empowering units to do a lot more innovation.
Yeah. Somebody told me once that the difference between a university and an entrepreneurial organization is that a university is building a castle that is going to last for thousands of years. An entrepreneurial organization is building a house that is supposed to last, luckily, for the next 50. So it's a very different time set, time frames, and somebody even made the comment, if you put a brick into the castle, you made a humongous contribution, because it's going to last. It's going to be there for the long run. So with that, Colleen, can you tell us, the Campus Performance and Events Office oversees a wide range of activities. Can you share a specific initiative demonstrating the impact of the collaboration between the office and Extended Studies? I think that you kind of started talking about the Blanchard thing.
Yeah, the other one that's very exciting is the UCTV Arts and Culture channel that is in motion. And we're really excited to be part of that conversation. It's helped us look at our all of our activities in a little bit of a different way. So when we're reaching out to artists and booking artists to come to campus, now we're including a question in our conversations and then in our contract, which is, will you allow us to film you any portion of either your engagement on stage or your outreach activities, because we do a lot of master classes, art talks, different things to get people closer to the art. So now making it kind of second nature to say, what, if anything, can we record and film so that we can be good partners in this exciting initiative to create an arts and culture channel? For us, the idea of being a destination for arts and culture, that a lot of that is also how are we in the world? You know, how is the world seeing us? And I think UCTV is going to be an exciting way to establish us, to get us beyond our borders, and to really show what we're doing here. So we're excited about that collaboration specifically, and then really looking at those ways that we're working with, you know, for us, Andrew and I were just talking and going, the intersections should be under the Art Power umbrella. You know, let's do that. Let's make it, we leverage what we're doing and know that we're better together, but we're already all doing the work. So it's a fairly simple thing to connect those dots.
Yeah. So one of the things that you brought to mind is in UCTV, one of the most watched programs is Carmina Burana. It's followed by all of the medical stuff, but Carmina Burana is, if it is, Natalie, you're here, probably is still the top viewed program. So it shows that UCTV is a very powerful avenue to deliver arts and cultural events. So Wendy, can you tell us the main reasons why Rady School of Management decided to collaborate with Extended Studies and how that has resulted in a transformative experience for the students?
Sure, thank you. Well, I kind of feel like Executive Vice Chancellor Simmons might have stolen my notes a little bit earlier, listening to her talking. It was logical. It was a logical thing to do, and when you kind of step back and you look at how things are traditionally done, but then look at it with a fresh eye, you're like, oh, well, this totally makes sense. So as a business school, we are expected to have executive education. This is my first appointment in a business school. I've worked at Earth and Ocean Sciences. I've worked in international affairs and political science. So this was my first time in a business school, and that was something I learned day one. You know, we have to have a business school. We have to have executive education. But what had happened prior to just me joining was there was this review. Does it make sense to have Rady School of Management, which is relatively small in comparison to some of our other colleagues at, say, UCLA or UC Berkeley. Additionally, we're young. We're just turning 20. And so was building an executive education portfolio by ourselves the right thing to do at that time? And really the answer was no, especially and primarily because the Division of Extended Studies existed, right? And so why would we not collaborate with a partner who had been in existence for 50 years, who has deep ties into the community that we wanted to have ties into, and who have staff that are very experts in logistical programming and making sure that students understand what it is they're trying to achieve in their programming. So we have, as soon as I came on board, it was like, okay, figure out how we're going to collaborate. And I can say they've been fantastic partners, and we've been able to find lines where, you know, this type of a client is going to come to the Rady School, and we're going to teach them with our research faculty, and this type of a client we're going to put into existing programs that Division of Extended Studies already has. There's no overlap. There's perfect synergy, and there's no more competition. So we're no longer competing against a unit within our own school. We're leveraging each other and creating synergies. So I really just think it was a logical thing to do. So logic won in that area.
Yeah, it's probably our collaboration with the Rady School of Management is one of the things that when I go out there and I mention that we partner and we help you manage the programs, everybody says, what? That's different. But it goes to the heart of what we have been trying to do, right? Trying to integrate the resources of the division, be an intellectual partner and an administrative partner, and offer all kinds of avenues for people to participate and leverage the different parts of the university together. So I love that example because of that, right? Because it flattens anybody that I mentioned it to. So the next question is a little bit more general. And the role of the university is changing these days, right? So in what ways do you see academia evolving? And what is the role that DES or equivalent organizations within a university system should be playing moving forward? So maybe, Colleen, you can get started.
It's a great question. You know, our office falls under student affairs. And so part of what you were saying earlier, two things resonated. Both that the idea of what a student, there is no typical student, right? That there are learners coming to the university at any different stage in their lives. There are needs, real needs at home. There's a number of people who have dependents depending on them. That and the combination of AI and what it means helps to kind of look at what we're doing in terms of arts and culture and why we matter in a university. We need whole humans. We need well humans. Our students, whether extended study participants and learners or undergraduates or graduates, they are the change makers. They are, and when I say that, I have spent the last year and change understanding what that means. It's not just a word that is bandied about. Truly, these are the people who are changing the world and solving the problems of the future. So for me, it's really important that those are healthy people, and that's what art does, right? That's what bringing people together, creating diverse conversations, bridging tension, learning how to actually exist in a diverse environment and support one another regardless of where we're coming from is a really important part of our role in this changing landscape. And then something that AI will never be able to do is feel. The feelings, to have that connection, the human things that we bring to the table that a computer or a robot will never do, is why it matters so much that as we're having these really important conversations and looking at how amazing that tool is going to be for us, we're constantly having that other side of the coin and making sure that we're going, okay, but can it do this, and does that matter in that instance? So that's...
Yeah, great. Thank you. Wendy, do you want to give your view?
Sure. I'm a little nervous with Carlos over here. He's the,
No, we leave him for
he's the expert on this, but as I mentioned, given that my career has been in academia and I've worked in a lot of different elements of it, I really feel like there's a great move towards multidisciplinary education and multidisciplinary expertise. And then you think about, okay, well, why? Why are we moving in that way? And I think it's really because society wants to see us being academia making an impact, right? It's no longer okay to just have the ivory tower where a group of people learn about things deeply and interestingly. You have to bridge that. You have to bring that knowledge out into the community, out into the industry so that you can improve society. And so one of the things that I think DES is well suited for is they're good at listening to the community, whether that be, public community members, parents, and the like, or employers and businesses. They're good at hearing what it is they want and then creating programming around that. So I think by partnering with DES, what we can gain from that and learn from what they've learned is how do we change our curriculum? How do we evolve and grow and continue to make an impact by being able to listen to the people who ultimately are going to be the beneficiaries of the knowledge that gets created within our institutions. So that bridge out of the ivory tower is something that I think is really vital.
Yeah, and all expectations are here.
There you go. Well, first of all, I completely agree with everything that Wendy and Colleen said. I see the challenge for academia really being along two fronts. Changing who we serve and how we serve them. Who we serve, if you look at most universities today, we're arranged around 4-year degrees, 2-year degrees, undergraduate, then graduate, et cetera. Almost all of our programs are imagined for 18 through 20-something, if you're an undergraduate, that you can put your life on hold, that you are able to be 100% dedicated to study, no family commitments, no financial tangles, everything. That has served us well, but that only serves a tiny sliver of the population. What about the students who have family commitments? What about the students who cannot, or are place-bound, cannot relocate for 4 years to La Jolla, which is not the cheapest place in the world to live, first of all. And so we need to really think about how do we meet our learners where they're at, help them attain the education that they need on their terms, or at least on negotiated terms, where it's not, take it or leave it the way that we're doing it now. And there, the Division of Extended Studies can really help us connect, build those bridges to the community, help us meet our community where we are. What we offer, again, going back to how traditional academic programs are structured, they're very transactional, right? A student comes to us, they want to get a bachelor's degree. Great. We commit to you for 4 years, we give you your degree, good luck. At some point, if you want to come back and do a graduate degree, here, apply all over again. We start a new transactional relationship. And that's just not how the world works. That's not what our students need. That's not what our alumni need. They need lifelong engagement, which is the mission of Division of Extended Studies. When you graduate, 2 years down the line, are you now looking to make the next move in your career? Are you trying to, have you been asked to manage a group of people for the first time in your life? What am I doing? Has technology changed in your field? I look at AI, I'm a computer scientist. If I had to go in there now and with my current knowledge of AI technology, I would be very scared, right? We all need to continue to evolve and grow, and we need to assume that partnership. And this is where Division of Extended Studies really shines.
All right, thank you. So now I have one more question for each of you. Wendy, what aspects of DES are hard to replicate by other academic units? And what do you see are the main areas of opportunity for collaboration for other academic units based on your experience?
Well, there's two main ones, and one we've talked a lot about already, which is the ties into the community. So I feel like as an academic unit, your primary focus is on educating your students and then assisting your faculty in doing their research. And they too they're interested in research as well as their students. Anything beyond that is great if you have the staff and you have the time and you have the funding. And so usually you can create a program or two that'll last for a couple of years, but then the funding runs out and then you're no longer having that outreach into the community. So by partnering with DES, they have a sustained outreach into the community that they steward, that they put time and energy, and that's cannot be understated how important that is. The second thing that, maybe it would be surprising to have me say, but as an administrator who's done a lot of events in my life, the logistical support that DES supplies, it's combined with the technical support. I don't want to undervalue it, but being able to put on a program like they're putting on today, I mean, if you've done event management, you know the hours and hours and the numbers of people that are involved to make something like this a reality. But you as a participant are just gonna move through the day and see beautiful graphics and everything's gonna be timed well and it's recorded and all of this is gonna happen and it's gonna be relatively seamless to you. But as someone who has to run a program and wants it to look professional and to the caliber of UC San Diego and the Rady School of Management, there is so much that goes into that. And so being able to partner with a group that has professionals that are at the top of their game who know what they're doing in terms of putting together a programming, how long this panel should be so that you guys don't get too bored, how to mix it up with different activities throughout the day is really valuable. And so I think community outreach and just the professionalism of your programming are two things that any academic unit could certainly benefit from.
So, Carlos, going back to the issue of education innovation, there has to be a direction in the future for the university and for a role that DES can play. So what advice do you have for us?
So, I go back to the two things that we need to change. I think there's a need for continued and even deeper investment in the outreach to the K through 12 space. We need to create these pipelines where we're getting opportunities for all students and kind of leveling the playing field. But as Wendy was saying, there are areas where the expertise of DES really can amplify and support the university in doing a lot of their innovation. So right now, we are working together, and without your support, we would not be able to make the kind of progress that we're making on online programs. All the conversations and the efforts that we have around creation of professional certificates or professional programs. Basically, that second part of the challenge that I was highlighting, how do we continue to serve learners after they finish a traditional degree program? And the university, all universities are typically very siloed, right? The Rady School has their own organization, they have their own resources, event staff, et cetera, and they do a wonderful job. But when you want to scale up, there isn't the room to do this. We're not built as a university in a way that we can leverage multiple schools coordinating together easily. And this is where cultivating these groups of phenomenal professionals with key expertise that can kind of step in and elevate the university, that is a huge impact for us.
Great, thank you. And Colleen, the question is a little bit different. You started interacting with us relatively recently. What did you find the most effective approach to interact with us?
You know, I think when we think about collaboration, a lot of times our first response can be, that sounds like a lot of work. You know, like that means I'm gonna have to deal with a whole other group of people. And so what's been exciting is that we come to it with the same approach, which is, what are you already doing? What already exists that we can then support? That's kind of the theme that's emerging. So we had a recent conversation with Digital Gym and the Latino Film Festival. And all it takes is getting the four of us, Andrew, their team members, our team members, in a room and saying, okay, what have you got? What have we got? Where do we find that? And it's building that foundation for future collaborations so that this year, you know, we've got the movie Birdman had that beautiful percussive soundtrack, and the composer's gonna be playing that live at the amphitheater alongside the film. So that's a very clear opportunity for us to say, hey, this is going to be something. Looking at those film festivals, saying, hey, give us your marketing assets, like as simple as that. And then even in preparation to for today, I did, you know, it's the deep dive into the website and looked at, oh my gosh, there's a fashion class. Our undergraduate students produce an event a few times a year called Momentum, which is a sustainable fashion exchange. And we've been talking about, hey, we should find some fashion designers to do a runway show, again, extending. So now that I know that, we'll be making a phone call and figuring out how to make that happen. The Child Development Program, we're gonna be partnering with the new Children's Museum downtown and providing family entertainment there. How do we engage those students? So what's exciting is that here at the university, but particularly the work you're doing is so expansive, it's so diverse that it's gonna be a matter of actually going, okay, what do we do first? That's a great idea. What do we tackle first? And then building those pieces so that it's just that natural, it becomes second nature, and we are able to do last minute partnerships, but that we are thinking very long term and going, all right, how do we add value to the work you're doing, and then how do you add value to the work we're doing? And you know, I'm very excited about the synergies and the willingness to just say, yeah, let's try it.
Great, thank you. Yes, I think that one of the areas where we pride ourselves is in our ability to find ways to collaborate with people. Because sometimes you have to approach the problem in creative ways. It may look like we are competing with each other, as it's the case for most extended studies or professional and continuing education units with their School of Business. I cannot tell you, most of my peer deans have a problem with the School of Business. But we were creative, and we approached it in a way that solved the problem. And sometimes solving problems propels progress. So now we're at a different stage, and we realize that there is a lot more opportunity for both of us together than there was for each one of us apart. So for us, the aspect of collaboration is critical. It's critical with campus, and it's critical with the community. We don't want to build barriers of any kind. And if there are barriers, we should find ways to either work around them or bring them down. So one more question, and this is, it's more geared towards the other side of our interactions, the community side of the work that we do. So how can we collaborate with the different units to serve the communities that we are part of better? And maybe we can start with Carlos this time.
Yeah. Division of Extended Studies has phenomenal programming. I'm thinking about what we're doing with Discover UC San Diego, the Mi Universidad effort, the work that you're doing. across the border and bridging those things. From my perspective, Division of Extended Studies is really executing on that vision. You're delivering on that. What we need to work more on is bringing the campus more into those efforts. We need to be your partner so that we can really turbocharge all of those things, because you're doing exactly what we should be doing. And so it's the burden is on us to support you in doing that.
Great. So maybe Wendy, you want to?
So I'll answer this, from the business school perspective and thinking about executive education. And when we talk about executive education, that's, people in their professional careers trying to advance themselves in some way. And so how we've partnered is we use Rady faculty for a certain set of that market, those who could really benefit from the decision-making advice that can come out of the research that we generate. And then the more need for practitioners and coaching and lower basic skills is how we work together. So there's the programming that fits really nicely together. People can advance up through the offerings between Division of Extended Studies and Rady School of Management as they work up through their career. And so I think, how you can contribute and we can contribute together is just continuing fleshing out the content for that. So, leadership is one area that we're working together in, but there's business analytics, right? The rise of big data is everywhere, and people from entry level all the way up through execs need to better understand how they're going to utilize data in their decision making. And so that's an area that the two of us can come together and create programming that's going to help the community and our members in it. So I think just continuing to have that open dialogue and that leveraging of our expertise and working together to make sure we're producing things that are of use for the community. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Colleen, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I think, our entities coming together and saying what are our goals is an important first step. And then the next question for me is who's already doing it in the community? What are the nonprofits out there that have already built trust within communities that for good reason may feel like the university isn't for them. And the idea of meeting them where they are in partnership and dispelling that myth of this castle on a hill and kind of, again, breaking down that barrier to say, hey, this is for you. It's the idea of that family programming, that the hope is that the youngest members of our community will start to feel comfortable in college spaces and feel like this belongs to me. We are a public institution, that it belongs to our community as much as anyone who is tied a little more closely to the university. So it really is about going out and creating those third partnerships and going there, and then taking a step back and really listening to understand, okay, how do we then truly build authentic trust within those communities, and work in close partnership, support the work that they're doing, but also build that trust so that we are a true, full regional community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, thank you very much. One of the things that we are always thinking about is how we can collaborate. We are a research university, right? So that aspect is an area also where we are trying to develop new nexuses with the community and with campus. We have our Center for Research and Evaluation that does support some grants, but I think that there is also a conversation that we are having with the community out there that may propel some research projects. And making those connections is sometimes something that we have to also develop a little bit more, have a full understanding when we go and talk to different corporations about what is the different areas of research, because we are out there, we're talking, and knowing what are the opportunities for collaboration between the researchers and the corporations and the non-for-profit organizations and the social justice organizations. What are those opportunities? I think that we have to work a little bit more, and that should be part of what we do. But I wanted to thank you for giving us these insights. I really appreciate it. And I don't remember if it was Wendy or Colleen that mentioned the amount of work that goes behind the scenes, right? And people tend to personalize things, and many times say, the Division of Extended Studies, you, right? And they're personalizing it on me. It's not me. I do very little, actually. It's all the team that I have behind me. And there are a couple of people that have helped put this event together. Jenny Van Meter over there, she has been the MC. And Bobby Jones, Robert Jones, he's outside. So, of course, working to make it all happen. And there was an entire committee that was put together to help us organize this and bring the knowledge of what's going on within the ES to the campus and to the community at large. So thank you very much.
We do have a few minutes for audience questions if you have time.
Anybody has a question that?
Burning question?
Yes.
Now that you said that also you have, or your main focus is research, you know that there's tons of biotech companies and they are building a lot of buildings in hardware because all these biotechs are coming. Do you don't think that you can partner with them so the kids they can do like internships and maybe then go beyond?
Yeah, so the Division of Extended Studies.
I'm sorry, could
Oh,
you
yes.
repeat the question?
The
Thank you.
question is specifically about the biotech industry, which is certainly one of the largest industries in the San Diego area. It's very vibrant. We see buildings going up even here in downtown that relate to the biotech activity. The Division of Extended Studies has programs that are specifically targeted towards the biotech industry. We train professionals that are, it's also an industry that is in constant evolution, right? So we hear about AI. If you go into the biological sciences, it's a completely different world, right? So, so we do have a number of programs that are running to make people aware of new technologies, train new professionals that they need, because as new technologies appear, they need new training. We provide the support in terms of the infrastructure that industry needs. I come from that industry. So for example, you need lawyers that understand biotech, intellectual property. You need leadership that knows how to manage this. But yes, and the division, there is the School of Biological Sciences within the university that it's also having an outreach effort with different participants in the community that specifically relate to biotech. I don't know if either of the two of you want to say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that, again, it's a team effort. So our division of our School of Biological Sciences, our Department of Bioengineering, our Career Center would be the ones who would take the lead on this, but that is for kind of traditional, very transactional, again, internship programs, et cetera. As Hugo was saying, we are positioned to take a more holistic look at this. Do we provide some bridging programs? Do we provide training for the mentors who are going to work with these students so that we have an effective job pipeline? And this is where this partnership, where we can really go and listen to the needs and the vision, if it's more than just one-off internships here and there, but you really want to build a talent pipeline, that requires the collaboration of both kind of the academic units and our Division of Extended Studies.
But you are doing it now?
There are some efforts in the School of Biological Sciences, and we are doing training constantly training for in the biotech industry for different professionals as they need to progress within their careers. Yes.
But if there are more needs, we'd love to hear.
Yes, we will always. We know the need is huge.
I have one other question. It's different. You said also something about reaching like K to 12, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So there are schools in South that they are poor, but there are some specifics that they are really helping a lot the students to think different and to have two languages. My question is, some of them, they don't know that they can go to UCSD because for them it's like too high. Or sometimes the people the counselors that are giving them opportunities, they are not giving the opportunities. They tell them to go 2 years to Mesa College or any college and then see if they can transfer. But some of them, they have 3.5 and up GPA, and I think that they could just go directly. How can we change that?
Yeah, so I think you need to talk to the gentleman over there, first row. We have been doing a number of different activities aimed at bringing in underrepresented minorities into the campus community. We have an initiative for many years where we were even doing lab work with high school students, the Boss Institute, where the students were even publishing the research. And these students were from mixed backgrounds. Some of them were from really underserved communities. There are a number of programs that we are doing. But the need, like you're pointing out, the need is huge. So sometimes you feel like you are going with a bucket to empty the ocean, but we're going with the bucket. Yeah.
I just want to say that at 1 o'clock today, there's a virtual program that includes Ezra Pacheco, who's the founding director of AA Academy's charter school in El Cajon, and they are partnering with the institution here with DES. Oh, thank you. And Ava is a legend in this community, what she's accomplished there. We have programs for kids. They start visiting college campuses in kindergarten. There's 800 students, and every year they're taken to a different school. The Girard Foundation in La Jolla was very generous in funding an alumni coordinator position. So the students are guided into which high school is best for them, and then college, and now postgraduate. So there are some resources out there. So I encourage you to see the program at 1 o'clock and hear from Ava and her colleagues on the panel.
If I could add to that, there's been wonderful programming going on at DES for a very long time, as you were showing. There are two new efforts that I think help us scale this up in a wonderful way. The first is the Mi Universidad effort, which aims to educate not just the learner, but the family. What are the expectations? What are the opportunities? How do we get from here to there? And it's provided in both English and Spanish. And then the Discover UC San Diego program. So those are free college courses to underserved high schools. And we had 113 students who completed a college-level course this summer in computer science, ethnic studies, or atmospheric science through SIO, Scripps Institute of Oceanography. For over half of those students, this was their first college class. I believe something like 75 or 80% of them came from some underserved background. The bulk of them, 99 of them earned A's and B's. No, sorry, 109 of them earned A's and B's. So the really wonderful thing about that program was that it helped students who couldn't envision themselves going to a place like UC San Diego, actually try what does it mean to be at a place like UC San Diego. Can I be successful in a place like UC San Diego? Can I show my community, my parents, my counselors that I can be successful in those places? And we've gone, you know, the extra mile with these courses. Again, these are our regular college level courses adapted and with some additional scaffolding to make sure that high school students can be successful. But we also translated all the materials so they will be more accessible, so that we can remove these barriers as much as possible. And my hope with that program is that we really do start shifting that perception of that school is not for people like me. UC San Diego wants the best and the brightest, no matter what your background, no matter where you grew up. And if you don't go here, we still want you to go to college. We offer that program, yes, because we are selfish and we want access to the best talent. But the goal here is to get more kids to go to college. And we count that as our success. So these are programs that we want to scale up to the whole state. Over 1 million high school learners in the state of California, right? That's our ambition, that's our goal. And that's how you start moving things.
I think we need to wrap it up.
Yeah, we need to wrap
Thank you
it up,
for your
but
questions.
We'll be around for a few more minutes, so you can talk one-on-one with us. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.